Peter, thank you very much for being with us here, and really appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to just kind of sit down with you. We know that Spurs are obviously in a bit of transition. It feels like there's a lot of fun, exciting things going on with the organization, but I'll start here. It's been 5 years since you basically took over as managing partner, and just during this time, what have you kind of learned about running this organization on this end and just kind of taking it to the next level or where you want it to be in the future?
Well, maybe my timing wasn't great. If you remember, there was something going on in the world 5 years ago called the pandemic. So that was kind of an interesting time. But I would say that I'm in a really fortunate position. Our partnership group, our owners, that is controlled by our family, trusts me, and I think trusts our family to ensure that the legacy that the Spurs have had over the past 25 years with our involvement continues. And so to be able to come in with a foundation of core values and principles that have had proven success on and off the court is, I think, a really fortunate position to come in. And yes, there's a lot of change that's happened, whether that was obviously, one of the best teams to ever be fielded, going through change, or now a coaching change. The fact is that our foundation is really, really strong, and it's rooted in these principles that our ownership group really believes in, which is first, being fans first. We have the best fans in the world, and the fact that we get to help them, be with them, be driven by them, be one of them, I think is a first principle. And then second is, positive community impact. Our family got involved in the Spurs because the way we were welcomed to this city was via the Spurs. It allowed for fellowship and unity and joy and positive impact. And so to really ensure that our first priority is fans and community, and to have just such good people around the organization and outside the organization that support us, I think that, man, it's been so much fun. Yeah. It's been so much fun, and I feel really fortunate that I get to be a small part of that.
So how have you been able to sort of balance that legacy from also being able to kind of chart your own path with this organization? We mentioned kind of the end of the big three. We've had a coaching change in recent months. So how do you feel that you've been able to chart your own path, keeping in mind the legacy that has been built by your family and former coaches, players here as well?
Well, I think it's because the encouragement is there. I think that there's wonderful people in the organization, whether it's my family, my sister who's involved, who's on the board. We do everything together. Whether it's mom and dad, whether it's Coach Pop, RC, they're always ones that are rooted in this really core, kind of unshakable foundation of, hey, be of service, do the next right thing, put in the work, but also very progressive and pushing to the future and saying, hey, if somebody has an idea, whether it's, the owner, the coach, the new assistant video coordinator, like, we bring your ideas. Like, we have to constantly look to the future. And so I think with the encouragement of really special people that have that higher purpose of putting the organization first, putting the city first, then that it makes it really easy, honestly. And of course, there are times when you feel nervous walking into the building, or, man, there's Coach Pop there, or Tim there. Like, of course you feel nervous about, like, maybe making a suggestion that it's like, we're gonna do something different. But when it gets reinforced, even if it's like, hey, no, we're not going to do that. But when it's welcomed, I think that's a really encouraging environment to be in, and I'm really lucky to be part of that.
Yeah, Peter, going with Coach Pop, obviously historical figure. You mentioned Tim, Tony Manu, the entire crew there. But how do you think the franchise moves forward with Coach Pop moving into the front office, and just kind of how do you guys keep the culture intact now that we've seen a little bit of different changes on the bench, and just what's your relationship with Coach Pop right now at this point?
I mean, Coach Pop is just such he's just a very special individual. I think that it's rare that there are leaders that have tremendous ability to build relationships, to build culture, to lead by both voice and example, also to be fallible. I think that he's never expressed that I'm perfect and you need to be perfect. I think that having someone like Coach Pop around that simply believes in showing up each day with the right intentions and putting in the work, and then you leave the rest up to the world. And having an environment like that, I think, allows for other great people to thrive. And so I have no concern. I should put it the other way. That's a negative way to put it. I'm really excited about the future because we have really great people that are ready to be themselves on top of this great foundation. And so, and Pop's not going anywhere. And so he'll be able to assist and guide us and give feedback and to coach us and to be part of that process. And so I couldn't have asked for a better pathway of transition. And Mitch is just a really special person that has incredible humility and a learner's mindset, and also combined with this immense confidence and will he's the right person for the right job at the right time. And I'm thrilled for him, and I'm thrilled for the Spurs to have him be our next coach.
Yeah, I think for anyone that was able to see Coach Pop kind of pass the torch a little bit to Mitch, it was an emotional moment for Spurs Nation. What kind of went through your mind seeing that happen, and just, again, growing up with the organization, growing up with Coach Pop, and all these tremendous memories?
Yeah, I Coach Pop, he's been our family's only coach. I mean, it's crazy to say that.
That is that is crazy, yeah.
And the world of sports is very fickle in general, and there's this desire to have positive, successful on-court results all the time, and that's the only determination of success. And I think that the way that our organization is rooted in the leaders that's not our belief. We don't believe that it's binary. We believe that you can do the right thing and have positive impact and serve others in an amazing way, and you can win. And also, that's not going to happen all the time. And so having people around like Pop that really believe in that higher purpose and really believe that it's not binary. There's kind of, he always says, like, oh, it's just basketball. Well, at some level, that's not true, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just basketball. It's important. We want to win championships. We want to be successful. We want to make our city proud. We make our fans proud. We also know that it's not just basketball. Maybe that's the way to put it. And that belief in the higher purpose, I think, permeates everything we do. And for him to be the torchbearer of that, and quite honestly, I think continue to do that, maybe just in a bit of a different role. How lucky are we? And our job now is just to make sure that we have the right people to ensure that the culture continues. And I wouldn't just say continues, but it's alive, and it's gonna change, and it's going to go through its next phase of the journey. And we just have to have the right people to ensure that positive will and that mindset of service and positive impact will thrive.
Pounding the rock, pretty much. Yes,
Yeah.
continue to pound the rock. All right, Peter. Obviously, a topic, across the city is going to be where the Spurs ultimately play down the line in the future. I'll start with this. What were your initial thoughts on Project Marvel in general?
I think that our community is very, very special. I think Bexar County, I think San Antonio is an amazing, dynamic, diverse, unique, soulful community. And we deserve an urban core that is world class and that makes our community really proud and is a beacon of unity, joy, accessibility, fun, excitement, economic development. I just think that the vision that's put forward with some really fantastic partners, Bexar County, UTSA, the city, the rodeo is going to be a part of this, the community of people that want to invest there, want to come there. I just think that it's a incredibly exciting vision for the city and for the Spurs to be an anchor there with a new arena that is fan first and that is accessible and world class is going to be a game changer, and it's going to enable the Spurs to have continued success like we have had in the past 25 years. And it's going to be, I think, transformational for the community abroad. So it's really exciting to me.
Yeah, I could tell just your excitement talking about it and sort of seeing that plan come to fruition. I know that's that's something that you're heavily involved in. I think for some folks out there, they may ask, why would the Frostbank Center not necessarily be part of the future plans for the Spurs?
Sure.
What would you say to some folks in terms of just the arena and the age of the arena, or what may need to be done to the arena in terms of renovations there for the Frostbank Center?
Yeah, the kind of general expert opinion on the life of arenas is about 30 years. And so we're coming up on that age of the Frostbank Center. And the Frostbank Center, to be very clear, is amazing. It's been an amazing home for us. And we want it to thrive. And we think with the rodeo's vision, with the county's vision, with the East Side area, participation and engagement, we think that we can be part and enable the future success of the Frostbank Center. At the same time, with NBA standards changing, with fan standards changing, with the business model adapting for local franchises, for the Spurs, we're one of the smallest markets in the NBA of the 30 teams. And so for us to ensure that we have that same success going forward, we need a world-class home for our great players to thrive in, for our fans to be excited about, and for our business to be sustainable. And having that in an urban core really allows for that growth and sustainability to be a real kind of permanent part of the decades to come.
And I realize you guys are still figuring out the funding,
Yep.
but what would be the message that you have for the taxpayers of Bexar County and for the city of San Antonio?
That the formula to build the Frostbank Center and then to keep it world class for the last 25 years has been a mutually beneficial formula where visitors pay a fee when they come and rent a car, stay in a hotel, and that money is dedicated to ensure that we have world-class venues. It can't be used for anything else. And so to continue that formula of funding is available and accessible. And there's actually more funding than originally in the 90s because the state now has a similar pool of taxes that cities can go get. And so I think it would be a disservice to San Antonio and Bexar County to not go use that money that's dedicated for these purposes for us to have a world-class arena in the urban core that can be beneficial to all and can increase the economy, that can provide for just numerous uplifts of the organization. And then the last piece of it is our investment. So in that formula, in that public-private partnership, there has always been a huge investment by the Spurs where we pay an incredibly fair share of that investment. And we're absolutely ready and willing to do that once the project cost gets developed and completed, once the funding sources get tallied and formulated, that process will happen in the next 30 to 60 days to where, hey, the ultimate way this gets done is that there's a vote in November and everybody will see all the information, all the facts, all the benefits. And I'm excited to see that will be passed, and I'm excited to see that we'll be supported and that this really impactful project will get going.
And with the exception of sort of the taxes, the tourism and the car rental taxes that you were talking about, do you anticipate that we'll see any sort of tax increases from residents of Bexar County or the city of San Antonio outside the venue tax that you were discussing?
The way it's proposed today is absolutely not. That the burden of the taxes and fees will be on visitors coming to Bexar County and coming to Texas and coming to San Antonio, and then the other portion of that will come out of the Spurs.
Okay, and it's my understanding it'll still take about 60 days before you guys kind of get some sort of funding or some numbers out.
I think the details will come in the next 30 to 60 days. Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't like to ask this question because I'm a fan of this idea personally, but are there contingency plans for you guys in terms of building a new arena if, for whatever reason, it just does not work out with this particular Project Marvel?
This entertainment district, sports entertainment district in the urban core is the absolute priority, and we're super excited about it and thrilled about it. We think it makes financial sense. We think it makes community building sense. We think it makes mutual benefit sense, and that's what we're focused on. And we are really encouraged by some incredible responses to this visionary plan, and we're gonna get it done.
Have you been able to kind of meet with our new mayor-elect at all, or kind of have any sort of conversations with Gina Ortiz-Jones? We know that Mayor Ron was obviously a huge supporter of just sports in general in San Antonio, but we do have a new mayor-elect and some brand new city council members. Have you been able to have any discussions with them?
We're really excited to dig in with all the new members of the city leadership. We have had conversations with them. We're excited to get into more detail now that the races are over. We think that the city leadership is in a great position to do this sports entertainment district downtown that will help all of San Antonio. And we're really excited to work with them and to have deep dialogue on how that's going to benefit San Antonio.
I thought about what you said earlier, just about these progressive ideas and the idea of playing games in Austin, also taking advantage of the international series with the NBA, taking advantage of the Spurs fans that are closer to the border in Mexico. What is right now the current relationship with the Spurs and Austin and further south towards Mexico and the border?
Yeah, we believe strongly that the Spurs are a global organization, and we have a global fan base, and that's really special, especially not coming from a big market that just has that built in where, of course, everybody in the world knows what New York City is or something like that. And so to be able to help and enable San Antonio to be on the global map is really important to us. And not only recognizable, but recognizable for the right things, which is winning the right way. And I think that's what our community believes in, not just in basketball or sports, but just kind of life philosophy. I think San Antonio really embodies that. And so this regional concept is, I think, really important piece of that to enable fans to know us, to feel us, to be part of us, not just in San Antonio. But the other thing I think, RJ, has been really cool is how many people, as we, for now, a decade plus, have been Mexico City. We do things in Laredo. We've done things in the Valley, in Austin. We went to Paris. The amount of people that I talk to and the the city leaders, not even city leaders, just anybody that then those people come to San Antonio. I think that's maybe something that's not talked about enough is people then come to a game, or they come visit San Antonio, or they come for Fiesta. I mean, we had a contingent of like 30 business leaders from Paris that came over to a Spurs game after we played there and stayed for Fiesta events. And so I just think that the world, with the changes of media, travel, post-pandemic, whatever craze, that San Antonio has an opportunity to really thrive in this kind of global ecosystem. And I think what the Spurs want to do is we want to reach our fans, we want to enable our fans, we want them to feel us, we want to feel them. And I think this regional concept from Austin all the way down into Mexico not only assists the Spurs, but assists the community of San Antonio of bringing recognition and real traction to San Antonio.
I'm curious to know what were their favorite events, or what where you took them.
I think they were so.
Yeah.
I think they were so enamored by the tacos. It
Right,
was like
okay.
they couldn't even get past the colors and the parades. But no, I think that one of the most common threads of people that visit San Antonio is the people. That's probably the first feedback that I get is, people are so nice and so welcoming, and they want me to have a good time and a good experience, and they want to show me something. Like I love that San Antonio is you go to a certain neighborhood, or you talk to a friend, or you bring somebody here. Mm-hmm. Somebody always wants to show you something. Hey, come eat this. Come, let's go see this museum. Let's go down the river. Let's go do this. And I think that pride really shines in San Antonio, and I think the Spurs have been a really big piece of opening the world's eye to San Antonio, and we want to keep doing that.
And based on what you built here, the Rocket La Cantera,
Yeah.
obviously one of the state-of-the-art facilities, training, practice, health, medicine. What would you like to reiterate to the fans out there when they kind of see these regional plans and they see potentially maybe more games in Austin,
Sure.
up 35, or just this kind of outreach, or this expansive sort of idea that you guys have? What's sort of the message or misconceptions that you may want to clear up when it comes to the fans as far as staying here in San Antonio?
Well, that San Antonio's our home. We just built this $100+ million performance campus, and it's the best in the NBA. I would argue one of the best in the world. And we want to continue to invest in San Antonio, and we believe also in abundance. That these investments, these focus areas, they're not competing, they're complementary. And so we absolutely know and believe that San Antonio is our home base, and we want to invest in it and thrive in it. We want our players, our coaches, our fans to know this is home. We also want to make sure that we're extending our brand, and we're extending San Antonio's brand, and we're being more inclusive. And so we think that the focus points are super complementary. They're not competing.
And while we're here on this topic, is there any sort of misconceptions or messaging that you'd like to let Spurs fans know about, or residents, just in terms of building this brand new arena and being a part of Project Marble?
Yeah, I would say that an interesting fact, RJ, is that there's 30 NBA teams. And since the whole family has been involved in the Spurs, the controlling owner in the mid-90s, 26 of the 30 teams have changed ownership. And I don't know if my math is right, but I think 8 or 10 of those have changed multiple times. And so, the Holt family is incredibly invested in San Antonio. We're incredibly invested in the Spurs. We want to make sure that the positive impact is lasting. It's decades and decades. Our other family business has been around 92 years, headquartered here in San Antonio. So we really believe in long-term positive impact. And the fact is, for us, the only reason that we've been so successful over the past 25 years is that we've had these partnerships. We've had these collaborative partnerships where multiple stakeholders invest in Spurs, and we all benefit. We all thrive from that investment. And so that formula has been successful. We're looking to extend that formula. And we need the help of the community. We can't do it alone. And just like Tim couldn't do it alone, right? It's a team sport, and our business is a team sport. And so this next journey, this next phase of our legacy, this new arena rooted in a downtown sports and entertainment district that's going to be really positively impactful for so many San Antonians and Bexar County will enable us, and I think enable the city to be really successful in the future.
Victor, obviously, he's a different guy for sure, and I know that he's someone who, is probably going to become this global is pretty much a global superstar. But what is it like to have Victor in the building here and to be part of the future of this organization for years to come?
Well, Victor, obviously, his on-court skill set and his on-court potential is probably something that the NBA has, or the game of basketball has never seen before. And so we're obviously wildly excited about that, just like all of our fans are. At the same time, I think it's worth pointing out how lucky we are to have the person, Victor Wembanyama, here. He is such a learner, and he is has such an internal drive for this combination of tremendous success and also helping others. And I think that we are so incredibly fortunate to have an athlete like Victor, but I would say even more important for the community of San Antonio and the community of the Spurs to have the person Victor with us. He is so curious. He is such a striver for growth, and he has such a service mindset. And then the last thing I'll say is just his innate joy for life and for the game of basketball and for the game of life. We couldn't ask for a better person to be part of the Spurs franchise.
And you had a viral moment there when you guys won the draft lottery with him. What kind of went through your mind when you got him? And as we move forward to the NBA draft, this upcoming one, what are your thoughts on kind of the organization as we get set for that? Plus, also, what superstition or what sort of lucky socks do you have, or a lucky belt buckle of some sort? Anything lucky that you have that you've been able to do so well in these past couple of drafts? Right before the draft, Victor was playing in France professionally, and I got the opportunity to go and see one of his games. And two things really stood out for me. Well, a lot of things stood out, but two really impactful moments that are seared in my vision. One was he had a teammate that accomplished a feat there that's really important on a number of games played for their team over there. And they had a kind of a mini ceremony before the game to acknowledge this teammate of his. And, this was not a big hyped professional team over there. They played in a small gym. There's probably some high school gyms here in San Antonio that are bigger than where he played there. Yeah.
And this teammate of his, probably nobody knows his name. So everybody was there to see Victor. I mean, if we're being honest. And the level of excitement, genuine excitement and praise that Victor had for his teammate during that ceremony was a really special moment to see that he loved being on a team. He loved seeing others succeed. That was really great. And then the other one was after the game, Victor went around and took pictures, signed autographs, gave high fives to kids. I mean, took a good amount of time going around the arena. And I think that just showed his character and that yes, he was there to compete and win that game, which they did. But also he knew the moments that were around there, and he was there to participate and lift up others and be part of that moment in a real genuine way. And so leading up to that lottery, we knew obviously the on-court potential, but I think that excitement to potentially get a human being that's so special alongside a credible athlete, bubbled up inside of me. And that's what that excitement is. On the Lucky Charms, I don't think I have
socks or anything like
I don't think I have anything super special. We've been around long enough and won and lost enough to where I don't think what I wear, or what I say, or what meal I eat is going to really affect anything. Unfortunately, I wish I had that control. But on draft night and big moments, a lot of times I carry a friend gave me a golden key. It's not actually gold. I wish it was, but a fake golden key, and it just reminds me that, hey, if I do the next right thing, if we do the next right thing, if our intentions are to help others, do the next right thing, be of service, then what I will get, what our organization will get, it'll be so much more than my wildest dreams. And so I do carry a golden key.
Yeah. That's nice. 3 more questions here. Is there pressure to win with Victor right now when it comes to the draft coming up? Obviously, going to acquire hopefully another future star of this organization. But when it comes to player personnel, moves down the line, is there pressure to win with Victor at this point? Or is it more about letting the team kind of grow into what they may become in the future?
We make no qualms or hide the fact that championship winning teams on and off the court is one of our absolute priorities and principles. At the same time, we want to do that in a sustainable way. And so I think we have an incredible foundation of players, of coaches. Brian Wright, I think our organization is poised and has a great foundation to start a really sustainable championship caliber push. The timing of that is not something that we are so focused on. We're not so focused on this has to happen this year, that has to happen next year. We want to build a sustainable championship winning team, and I think we have the foundations of that at our feet.
We talked about this a little bit before we started the interview, but this is going to be the 20-year anniversary of the 2005 Spurs championship team. What goes through your mind when you think about that, and what can you remember about that particular championship?
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible year, an incredible team. I think what I remember about that is that the Spurs way has always been to emphasize team first. And if you look back at that series and that playoffs, throughout it, of course, Tim, Tony, and Manu were our core and the focus, and the team obviously went how they went. At the same time, I think if you go back and look, the number of games that were influenced or won or lost by other players, probably players that a lot of people nowadays don't even remember. I mean, people remember Robert Horry,
of course, yeah.
But the depth and the team first mindset, I think that's what really stays with me, because the seasons are so long. And the series themselves are so long. The Detroit series was 7 games. It couldn't just be one player that won every single game. And so, ensuring that we remember that this is a team sport, and that the best way that the Spurs win is having a robust, talented, competitive team, is, I think, a great lesson for us to know as we enter this next phase of building a championship winning team.
Peter, I'll leave this sort of last question just kind of open, but what is it what are some things that you would just want for Spurs fans or resident city of San Antonio, Bexar County, just to know about you in terms of your leadership and maybe kind of what the Spurs' role in the community will be looking moving forward?
I think the Spurs, our lens, our first priority has always been positive community impact. Our family got involved in the Spurs in the 90s because there was a threat the team was going to leave. That's why we got involved. And the team means so much to us and so much to the community that we have to, our job is to ensure that it's successful so that the team can have the most positive impact on the community. And this next phase, this next journey, this new arena and this vibrant urban core sports and entertainment district will absolutely enable the Spurs to have the most positive community impact. And I think our track record has proven that we absolutely, our actions speak louder than words on how we show up for the community. And I think that you'll not only see that in the future, you'll see more of that as we have sustainable success.